Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Jamil. So let's see where market can move and how we can plan for tomorrow. First, we are going to analyze weekly time frame, then daily, then 50-minute time frame. So let's start with weekly time frame first. Last week we have discussed after closing in a negative momentum, it's a bearish momentum. We discussed market can become sharply fall down from here because it's a positive momentum in previous time. Market need to be paused on here. If it is paused candle, then next week market can become positive momentum on here. But the moment market start to become negative sign on here, we immediately discussed and next in previous time 12,500 going to be the most important psychological support for the market. If any candle closing that to be even 50-minute time frame, we can planning to sell aggressively on here. And the round level, nearest round level is going to be 12,000, and we discussed 12,000 is going to be act as support for the market. But no doubt it's a deep correction. You can see even market after touching 12,000, there is no any respectness. It start to closing even below below even 12,000 round level below on here. So no doubt it's a negative market. So how we can plan to sell, how we can plan to buy or sell for this week? No doubt there should be no any buying scenario at least for this week or even for the next week. If you want to buy, at least market need to be closing above 12,500 because this is the range where market sharply fall down from here. So if you want to buy, at least market need to be closing above side. So we will be cover each and every analysis in every day after closing the market, no doubt. So we have to find out the nearest support for the market for this week. It's 11,500. You can see 11,500 is psychological round level. Remember, always round level always act as a support and resistance for the market. As psychological level, 11,500 will going to be another next support for the market. So no doubt it's a sharp selling. So I'm still on doubt that 11,500 will going to be sustained or not, because this is the range market already tested on here. This is the second time immediately market will going to be face this range. So chances are very high. Remember one point, we planning to sell on here, but it doesn't mean that we will continuously after opening flat continuously we will hold our position. There is a support, we can see 11,500. So remember one point, if you want to sell more aggressively on here, only one condition you have to be wait, that to be in daily time frame. If any candle closing below 11,500, then again it could be the aggressive selling pressure again, and round level is going to be 11,000, and this is the fresh level. We can see this, we might be see this week another fresh level on here, because if you see the price action, it's a continuously selling. It's the first pullback. And in my previous video, if you follow me continuously, we have discussed multiple times, in continuous selling, first pullback always come for selling, and this is first pullback against the selling. So this range is already retested on here. If any candle closing, remember, if any candle closing that will be in daily time frame below 11,500, that no doubt we are going to see the fresh low till 11,000. So this 11,000 is going to be the next pure support for the market. So it's no doubt it's a panic selling market. There is no any buying scenario. Buyer will not going to be touched generally on here. The last hope for the buyer will going to be below this swing. Each and every buyer will going to be put their SL on here, which is near out 11,500, 500, 600, 650. This is the range will going to be the last hope for the buyer. Any candle closing, no doubt it's a panic selling will be again for this week. We can see on here. So I hope you understand this point. On weekly time frame, we already discussed that market will going to be the negative even for this week. So let's check the daily time frame, how we can planning to take a trade from here. In daily time frame, there's an interesting point. If you see in our previous video, that to be in week time frame, I think last week we also discussed about this range. We discussed this range will going to be the most important range for the market. If any candle that to be in a closing on upside, any candle closing that to be in downside, it means breakout or even breakdown. If side any side market candle closing, then market can become directional. Market can become go upside or even go downside. That to be in one direction. You can see here after trading 8 to 9 day trading session, that to be in one smaller range. After closing on here, market didn't even wait here. Even though it's a gap down, it's a continuous selling. So it's look like seller are aggressively on here. So this range will not going to be if market going to be respect on here, the no doubt it will going to be hold on here. But if any the way selling pressure is coming from the upside, so no doubt it's look like 11,500 will going to be the breakdown very soon, because if you see here after gap down, it's still a seller on the market right now. And you can see here in previous time we discussed this range will going to be the important. Why this important range will going to be? because market need to be moved somewhere. It's either upside, either downside. But the way market trading 7 to 8 or 8 to 9, I think continuously trading on a range, so it need to be moved somewhere. So this kind of trading on a range indication that either it could be accumulation zone, either it could be the distribution zone. If it is distribution zone, then no doubt it will be the selling side first. So no doubt it's a seller market, it's a completely selling market. There is no any buying scenario for the market. If you want to buy, at least market need to be closing 12,500, 400, any kind of closing, then we can plan for the positive scenario for the market. But till now there is no any buying scenario. Don't plan to buy on here. Suppose if market on Monday morning, if market open flat, as soon as it cross this swing, we can plan to sell first on here. This is our first condition. If anything directly gap down, which is near 11,600, 11,500, then we have to be paused. We have to wait for 1 day. No doubt we will going to be trade on next day again, but after if it is a volatility going to be continue, then chances very it will be gap down open first. After opening gap down, then it better if we wait for 1 day. So I hope you understand this point, friends. And this range is not the first time market will going to be the retest on here. It's already market 1 to 2 times this range already retested on here. So chances very high this is the third time market will going to face this same support. So after touching this level, I feel like it should be a small pullback, then again it will be the continuation selling for the market. So let the market decide if it is still continuation selling or not. We will understand it after on Monday morning. After Monday market closing, then we can understand. First things, if market planning to take a trade for tomorrow, first things, if market opening flat, anything opening flat, as soon as it cross this swing, we can plan to sell on here aggressively. 11,800 going to be our selling price. If any start to closing below this swing, we can plan to sell on here, and 40 to 50 point going to be our stop loss, 1 is going to be our target. But generally market can sharply fall down from here, but our planning will going to be according to our risk to reward ratio. 40 to 50 point going to be SL, and 1 is going to be our target after opening flat only. And if anything directly gap down, which is 11,600, 650, 500, then already profit will be gone. It's completely going to be buyer range. So be wait for 1 day to let the market closing, because after opening gap down, it will going to be the volatile market, or either it could be the pullback. So both side market can travel due to this support level. But after closing in certain level, we can plan to sell on here. But after opening flat, we are not going to be wait for anything. We can plan to sell on here first. If anything gap up first, if anything directly gap up, which is more than 100 and 150 point, then we have to be paused for the selling. We cannot plan to sell aggressively on it, because this swing will going to be important support for the market. If anything gap up, then market will going to be the volatile on here, because this seller range and this range is going to be acting as a support for the market. And so trend will not going to be confirmed after opening gap up. Market will going to be the sideways market, and we can plan for sideways market after opening directly on gap up, that to be in Monday morning. So I hope you understand all of this point, friend. So let's check the S&P 500. Similar analysis market movement for tomorrow morning. After opening flat, as soon as we cross this swing, we can plan to sell on here, and $10 point going to be stop loss. 1 is going to be our target. And if anything gap up, that to be above this swing, 3,940. If anything gap up, then we have to be paused for 1 day, and market will going to be completely volatile on here, because after opening gap up, then no doubt buyer will try to defend this range, and this is the sharp selling area. This range will going to be active as resistance for the market. So market will going to be in between, or it will be on a trap market, so trend will not going to be confirmed. And similar, if anything directly gap down, then we will be wait for 1 day to let the market closing either is upside, or either it is closing on negative side the next day. And next day we can planning with a proper risk management after closing the market. So I hope you understand all of this point, friend. So let's see which stock we can planning to take a trade for tomorrow. First stock will going to be the McDonald. I still remember in previous time we also about to sell on here, but market directly opening the gap down. So after opening gap down, we discussed that we are not going to plan to buy or sell anything here. We will be ignored on here. So right now it's a chance that it can be contention for the selling. After opening gap down, it's on selling pressure. 237 as soon as it cross, we can plan to sell on here, and $2 going to be stop loss, 1 is going to be our target. Remember, market need to be open flat. So if anything flat, then we can manage our stop loss with a small point range on here. So it's very important after to open in the flat range. After opening flat, and as soon as it cross 237, we can plan to sell on here. This is a round level. It look like 230 is going to be a support for the market. So it's a in between market is trading, so it can be a continuation for the selling side, because upside momentum 50% correction already done on here is still not able to hold on here. It's still on negative sign, so it can be continuation for tomorrow morning. So after opening flat, we can plan to sell on here, and $2 going to be stop loss, and 1 is going to be our target. Second stock will going to be the Cipron Corporation. It's an interesting moment. You can see here it's a breakout level. It's a completely breakout level. First, after breakout, it's a retest, and this after then it's a pullback. It need to be continuation for the upside, but the moment is another rejection on here, that means negativity are started creating on a seller, or start to building their position on here. And this stock is also on my portfolio. I bought somewhere $116, I think, when market was trading on here. And about this breakout I bought on here, and last year on October or November, I think it giving me a very good profit. So right now market is started to become negative on here. You can see here after pullback, not able to hold an upside. After breakout is immediately breakout fail. So after opening flat, as soon as it cross 174, going to be our selling price. As soon as we break this swing, we can plan to sell on here, and $2 going to be stop loss, and 1 is going to be our target. I hope you understand all of this point, friend. If you understand, hit the like button and subscribe.